In the heart of the African savannah, under the deep blue skies and the shade of the mighty bamboo tree, lived a boy named Kofi. At just 8 years old, Kofi had a heart full of dreams, a mind full of questions, and feet that were always running toward adventures. He lived in the village of Adufuo, a place where the soil was red, the air smelled of wildflowers, and the stories of ancestors were passed from generation to generation. Kofi's father, Amadou, was the village's healer, known far and wide for his knowledge of herbs, roots, and potions that could cure the sick and bring peace to troubled hearts. His mother, Amina, was a weaver and a storyteller, known for weaving the finest cloth and telling stories that made people laugh, cry, and dream of faraway places. Kofi, always curious, often followed his father to the forest to collect herbs. He would ask a million questions, from the names of the plants to why the wind always seemed to whisper secrets. His father, although busy, always made time to answer Kofi's questions. Kofi, eager voice, "Father, why does the wind always talk to the trees?" Amadou, chuckling gently, "The wind speaks to the trees, my son, because they listen. When you listen closely to the world around you, you will understand it better." One morning, the village was shaken by the arrival of a stranger, a tall, dark man named Kwame, dressed in bright clothes that were not from the village. He spoke of great riches and promised to heal the sick with a rare herb that he claimed only existed in the deep forest near Adufo. Kwame told the villagers that he had heard of the legendary herbs from faraway lands, and he promised that with the right herb, they could become wealthier than they ever dreamed. Amadou, Kofi's father, was intrigued, but he also felt a deep sense of caution. Kwame's smooth voice, "The future belongs to those who are willing to reach for it. I have the means to change everything, Amadou. The rare herb I seek is in your village, and with it, we can all grow richer." Kofi, overhearing the conversation from behind a tree, felt uneasy. He didn't trust Kwame. There was something in the man's eyes, a hunger that Kofi did not like. Days passed, and the village began to change. Amadou, once the protector of the village's healing herbs, started to spend more time with Kwame. He talked about profits, riches, and power. Kofi's heart sank as he watched his father slowly change, the warmth in his eyes replaced by something cold and calculating. One evening, Kofi followed them. They walked deep into the forest, to the secret grove where the sacred herb grew. Kofi hid behind a bush, watching in horror as Amadou handed over the precious herb to Kwame. Kofi whispering to himself, "Father, no, this can't be happening." Kwame smiled triumphantly as he held the herb, his fingers tingling with greed. But before he could turn to leave, Kofi stepped forward, his voice trembling with fear and anger. Kofi shouting, "Father, you're wrong. You've betrayed us." Amadou turned slowly, his face hard. "Kofi, go home. You don't understand." But Kofi wasn't about to turn back. He ran to the elders, telling them what he had seen. Nana Ya, the oldest elder, listened closely, her face a mask of concern. "Nana Ya, Kofi, you are brave, but this is a dangerous path. The prophecy speaks of one who will restore balance. Perhaps it is you, young one." The next morning, the village buzzed with whispers of the herb's power. Kwame had promised the villagers great wealth and health, but Kofi knew the price of such promises. It was not in the spirit of his village, not in the teachings of his father. With a heavy heart, Kofi made a decision. He would not let his father's mistake destroy the village. He would find a way to stop Kwame and return the herb to its rightful place. But how? Kofi determined voice, "I will not let Kwame ruin everything. I must stop him. For my village, for my father." Kofi packed a small bag with food, a staff his father had given him, and a map his mother had drawn when Kofi was just a baby. He kissed his parents goodbye, though his father said nothing. It was as though the light in Amadou's eyes had gone out completely. The journey was long and treacherous, filled with dangers, wild animals, harsh winds, and dark nights. But Kofi was determined. He knew that the spirits of the land were with him, guiding him. One night, as he sat beside a fire, the baobab tree appeared in his dream, its massive roots stretching deep into the earth. The tree spoke in a voice that echoed like thunder. Bamboo tree, deep voice, Kofi, you must trust in the earth. It will give you the strength you need. But remember, the greatest power lies not in herbs, but in the heart. Kofi woke up, feeling a new sense of clarity. The earth was his ally, and he would use his heart to fight for what was right. Kofi arrived at Kwame's lair, deep in the forest, where the stranger was preparing to sell the herb to the highest bidder. The air was thick with tension. Kwame's eyes gleamed with greed. As he saw Kofi approach, Kwame mocking voice. So, the little boy thinks he can stop me? What are you going to do, Kofi? Kofi, I will stop you, Kwame. The earth will not allow you to use its gifts for evil. The battle was intense. Kwame used dark magic fueled by the herb's power, but Kofi, with the wisdom of his ancestors and the strength of his heart, called upon the earth spirit. With each chant, the ground beneath Kwame's feet trembled. Kofi chanting with power, earth, wind, and fire, give me strength. For the good of the land, let this evil be undone. The earth responded, and a powerful force knocked Kwame back, sending the herb flying from his hands. Kofi grabbed it, holding it up high as the spirits of the forest swirled around him. Kofi returned to the village as a hero. He had defeated Kwame and saved the sacred herb. His father Amadou wept as he hugged Kofi, deeply ashamed of his actions. The villagers celebrated Kofi's bravery, and the elders proclaimed that the boy had fulfilled the prophecy. Amadou with regret. Kofi, my son, you have shown me the true meaning of strength. It is not in power but in love and courage. Kofi smiling. Father, I never wanted power. I only wanted to protect our home, our people, and the earth. The greatest strength does not lie in wealth, power, or magic. It lies in love, courage, and respect for the earth and its wisdom. Kofi learned that sometimes, even the youngest among us can show the way, and so, the village of Adufo thrived, and Kofi grew into a wise young man, knowing that the heart of the bamboo tree would always guide him, just as the heart of the earth guides all who listen.